Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and thank you for all your well wishes for my voice and my little head cold that I have. I feel a whole lot better today. I just had some hot coffee in me, so I should be able to talk for a little while. What we're going to do today is we're going to use this wreath form and this E, but we're going to repaint it. This is my little kids, my little grandkids painted that for me, but we're going to repaint it. And we're going to make a wreath, and it's going to be a rolled rose wreath. And this was suggested by, let me see, this was suggested by Shelley LaFleur. She asked for a rolled paper flower wreath. Alright, now I just pulled out a lot of my scraps that have some of the same similar colors in them. It's not really going to make a lot of difference what colors are on here, because once you roll this up, you're just going to see a hint of the color anyway. But I'm using some colors that have some fall. I'm using some pieces that have some fall colors in it. This is a good way to use up your scraps. I'm going to cut mine using my Cricut, but I will show you how to cut them, the rolled roses, if you don't have a Cricut. They're not hard at all, but I'll show you how to do it both ways. But I'm going to use my Cricut just for time's sake. And I will go over using the Cricut to cut these with you, for those of you who have the Cricut, and we will get started. So I have already signed in to Design Space, and now all I'm going to do is just type in 3D flower. And that's going to bring up a lot of different flowers, and then I'll show some of the various ones. And you can use any of these. I just chose to use that first one that was up there at the top, because to me that is a little bit more like a rose. So I'm going to bring that onto my mat, and then I'm going to cut, I think, 5 at one time. So I'm just going to change the size of it, I believe. So I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to change the size. Make it a little bit bigger. And I should have even made it bigger still, but that's okay. I'm using some small ones and large ones. And then I'm just going to duplicate it. And I don't think you can see that. Yeah, okay, there you can. You can see that duplicate button. I'm just going to hit that duplicate button, I believe 5 times, yep. And then I'm just going to spread them out so that they'll all cut on my mat. And these, I'm all cutting out the same color paper, but I'm going to alternate them. I'll fold one way and one the other, and it's double-sided paper, so therefore they'll look like they're cut out of different colors of paper. And I think we are cutting. So we'll get these cut, and then we'll come back and show you how to put those together. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a rolled rose if you don't have a Cricut. I just have a piece of double-sided paper here. And this is just use any circle that you have, the size that you want. I want these pretty big, so I'm going to use this. And got my circle, and then all I have to do is just cut it out. And you don't have to be real precise. It doesn't matter. Okay, there we go. Now you have your circle. All you need to do is start cutting a spiral. Just start cutting that circle around and around, leaving about the same amount from where you're cutting to the edge. Just keep going around. I don't ever go exactly straight, and you don't have to. Sometimes I think the more wacky of a cut that you make, the prettier it is. Because sometimes I completely forget what I'm doing and start to go off the edge. And then just leave you a little circle at the end. Now I am going to I had a couple of places that I saw that I really went wild on. So I'm going to even those up. But as you can see, all you have is a spiral. And then from here, you just start rolling it. Whichever side that you want to be out, you roll that. Like, I want this side to be out, so I'm going to roll the other side to the inside part. I'm going to roll it just like that. This side will be out. And I get it started on this little skewer, and once I get it started, I pull that out, and then I just hold it between my fingers and then just continue to roll. And when you come to the end, just roll that around and then tuck that little part. Mine shot right straight up, didn't it? Okay, so there you go. There is your rolled rose. Now I'm going to start by wrapping my wreath with some burlap because I want all this covered up. I don't want that to show. So I'm just taking some burlap that I had in my stash. I'm going to kind of glue it to itself because I may want to change this out. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to make this where I can do some interchanging with it for the different seasons. We'll see. We shall see. So I'm just going to pull that pretty tight, and I'm just going to go kind of at an angle like that around it. This is I think it's about a 2-inch. Yeah, this is a 2-inch burlap. If you had something wider, that would be fine. If you just have burlap pieces, that's fine too. Just wrap them around there and glue it down. And then I'm going to glue ever so often so that hopefully I won't have any slippage. I'm going to use my little hot glue helper here. Thing keeps you from burning your fingers off, I'm telling you. So that's what it's going to look like. We're just going to continue to do this, and then we'll come back and start building our wreath. Okay, I've got all that covered, and now in order to make this interchangeable, what I'm going to do is I cut a piece of chipboard. This is just a piece of cardboard off of a box that I had, and I just laid it under here and then trim this out and cut it the same size as this, just like that. And then I covered it with the same burlap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to glue my flowers to this. And I'm just going to roughly stitch it on. That way, at the end of fall season, I can clip this off, replace it with another one to use for Christmas. At Valentine's, I can take that one off, use it, put a Valentine one on there and go on from there, because I don't like to have a lot of different wreaths laying around. I don't have room to store them, and I just don't want to store them. Okay, I painted over this with some gesso, but I think I'm going to color this up my color, teal, and then I don't know what else, do some stamping on it or whatever. I don't know for sure about what I'm going to do with this. But first we're going to stitch this on. And I'm just using a big eye needle. If you don't want to stitch it on, you could use some wire or just some string and wrap around there. I am just using that little invisible like string that I told you I had. I think this is almost like a fishing wire kind of thing. And I'm going to very roughly stitch this on because it's really not going to matter. All I want it to do is I do want it to be able to hold my flowers on there. So I'm going to leave a little bit. So I'll do 2 or 3 stitches in each area, and then that way all I have to do when I get ready to change this is just clip those strings and I'm ready to go. Alright, so we will just go down through here and stitch this, and this is going to be so light and on the back side that nobody is going to be the wiser that we've got this stitched on. And if you want your stitches to really hold, when you get up to that little circle, just run your needle back through that circle and then pull it tight, and that'll close that off right there and pull like a little knot in it so that it'll stay. Like I said, if you don't want to do the stitching, you could always just run some wire around it or something like that. This is just easier for me. Okay, and then we're going to go over to the other side. Okay, as you can see, I have everything drug out on my desk as usual. I wanted to show you the rose that cuts out from the cricket, or flower. I don't know if it's a rose or not. I think it's pretty, whatever it is. And this one is cut, I believe it's about 6 inches, because I wanted to have some large and some small. But if you don't have a cricket to cut something like this, just trace you a big circle and then just start cutting like that, just going in a little bit each time you cut, make you a little spiral, and that's all that you need to do. If you want to put the little scallops on it, then you can do that too with a punch or with your scissors, just whatever. And then I just use a little, I don't know, this was a little skewer I think. Just some little paintbrush or something to get it started rolling. And then once I get it started, I take that out because to me it's easier to roll with that out. And then I just continue to roll, holding it between my fingers like that. And just rolling it around, keeping it pretty tight, not pulling it real tight because you'll end up breaking it if you pull it real tight. Keep it pretty tight. And once you get up to the end, you leave that little round circle on the end. Once you get up to that end, then just hold it between your fingers. Now if you want it that tight, that's fine. If you don't, just kind of let it loose just a little bit and it'll loosen up. I like mine a little bit looser, so I'm going to let it go for a little bit. And then I'm just going to fold this back, put a good glob of hot glue there, and then fold that down. Okay. And it's trying to stick to my fingers now. There it is. There's your little rolled rose. I think they're super cute. I usually stick them down to my desk like that, to this mat, because they'll come right up off of it. And I let them sit there until the glue hardens and cools off. But that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, to go on with this, I've just pulled out a lot of different flowers and leaves and things. So we're going to start here, and I'll be mixing some of my rolled roses with the regular roses. And I did make a regular one somewhere here, right there. That one's just made from a circle. And then you just spiral cut it and then just start rolling it up. That's it. Okay, now on this piece that I showed you that'll be my interchangeable piece, what I'm going to do is take these. These were from our, let's see, October kit, and they're the Petaloo Elements, and these are in the Daisy Layers Burlap Canvas Natural, is what they say. So I'm going to take a dark one and then a lighter colored one. I'm going to stick those together, just kind of alternating those leaves. Now, this is going to serve two purposes. It's going to give something for our flowers to sit in, plus it's going to help disguise where we put this other layer on. So I'm going to start about right there, and I'm just going to start laying them in there and see where I want them. Let's see, put this big one on the end. Okay, I think that will work, just like that, and then we'll put flowers all over them. So we will glue these down to this removable part here. What did I do with my little tool? There it is. So there we are, we've got that, and I really need a couple more, but all I have is the ones that are burlap. But I think they'll be alright. I think I'm going to stick that one right in there. And this one's really bigger than what I want, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half, and then I think I'm just going to stuff it up in there like that, so we'll still have some petals hanging off the side. So we will stuff that one up under there. And the other part, we'll put it right in here, I think. Yeah. So there we go on that. And I think I want to move these over. This one that is also too big, I think I'm going to cut it and put part right there and maybe part down here. So again, I'm just going to cut it in half. And then I will layer part of that up under there. And part of it down here. Just like that. Okay, so there is our burlap part on there, and now we can just start filling in with our flowers. Put them wherever we want them. And we'll alternate back and forth with some of these kind of flowers and then some that we made, and keep going like that. And I will just lay them down here until I get an idea of what I want. So I'm kind of liking the looks of that. So I think we will start gluing some of these down. And I'm going to put a good amount of glue because I do want these to stay where I put them. Now I think we're going to tuck some of these leaves in here and there. These have just a little bit of orange to them, so I think that'll go with this fall wreath. Because what is flowers without wreaths, right? I mean, what is flowers without leaves, right? So I'm going to lay them in there first and look at it. Then we'll kind of go from there. I think that may be all that I do because truthfully our burlap is kind of serving for leaves under these flowers, so I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to tuck a few in here and there. Because to me those little burlap pieces almost look like leaves. So we will just put a few here and there. And yes, I use my Tim Holtz scissors to cut these little wires off. It does not hurt them. Been doing it forever. So let's tuck one way up under there. Okay, so we made a bow out of the remainder of the burlap. And I have just stitched it on as well because when I change this out, I'll change the bow out for whatever season it might be. And I'm going to fluff these up a little bit. And I dropped my camera, so hopefully it's still filming right. Oh, don't know why I keep dropping that thing. Maybe it is. We will see shortly. And I did put some glue under that just because I want that bottom part to be held down. But I can still take it off and replace it with another bow if I need to. Because I want to fluff these up a little bit. And the way I'm going to do that is by using some hot glue and my little tool here. Just glue that back part down, pull it up, and then glue that back part down. It will make that bow stand up a little bit more. Like that. Okay. So I think we're good with that, and this bottom part is curling because it was the last part of the roll, and I think that's okay. I like that part. So as soon as our E dries, we'll be able to put it over here, and then this will be just about finished. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else over here, like put, you know, a little bit of glitter on there or not. I may just leave this like it is, and then when it comes Christmas time and I'm going to change it out, I'll probably glitter it up then for Christmas. And just because I don't know when is enough, and I love glitter, I think I'm going to put just a tiny bit of this gold stickles around over here. Now to put it on the flowers that I made, I'm just putting a little bit on my finger and just rubbing it around on there because it's almost, the way they're made, it's almost impossible to get it on those. So I'll just rub it on there. Just gives it a little bit. I don't want a lot. Christmas is going to be the month that we'll really bling it up, but don't want a lot this month, but I want something. Okay, and then on the leaves, I'm just doing the tips of the leaves. And then these flowers, just the tips. That's all we're doing. Okay, and if you have any glue strings, just hit it a little bit with the heat tool and that'll get those glue strings off of there. I have a few, but I'm pulling some of them off with this, so I'm not worried about it. Now, I think my E is dry, so I think we're going to put it on. And I'm going to hot glue it down because I plan on it staying there, hopefully. So now I just need to get the placement. I think I want it to sit kind of like that, so see what we can do. I have to get it up where I can see it. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I don't know, I want to put something on that E, but I'm not sure if I do or not. Okay guys, I think it is finished. And all I did on the E is I took that gold stickles. I took this that I put a little bit around on this side, and I put some on my fingers and just kind of rubbed it around on the E just to kind of distress it a little bit, and I don't know, make it blend more with this side. It was looking too bland for some reason. I don't know. And that may be all that I do. I'm not sure that I'm going to do anything else to it. I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think about the wreath. And I hope, let's see, what is the name again? Shelley LaFleur. I hope this gave you some ideas on a rolled flower. I think what you wanted is just a rolled paper flower. On a rolled paper flower wreath. You can do them, you could do the whole thing in these rolled flowers and it would be beautiful. Use these burlap flowers behind it and it would be absolutely gorgeous. And our deal for the day is going to be these burlap flowers, the ones that I used on here. I think we have 12 packs of these. So we will be putting these up for the deal for the day. This is day 5 of our 30 Days of Thankfulness. We will be putting these up, and they should be up as soon as you get through watching this video. There'll be a link directly to these in the description below. I hope that gave you some ideas. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and like and share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.